Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com, and today I'm catching up with Daniel about his 2018 F-150. Now, Daniel's setup consists of a 20 by 10 inch Fuel Assult wheel in black. It's a negative 18 millimeter offset, giving you that kind of aggressive stance, a little bit of poke. Tires, a 35 1250 R20 Nitto Terra Grappler, and making it all possible is that big old 6-inch rough country lift kit. So Daniel, thanks for joining me, man. Appreciate it. Now, if you would, sir, why did you go with this particular setup?
I've had a few trucks that were all lifted 6, 7, 8 inches. And for me personally, I do a lot of highway driving. I spend about 2 to 3 hours a day driving in my truck. And that 6.5 inch area for me is the best around, you know, because I'm still able to go off-road if I want, because I do take my truck off-road on the weekends. I hit a whole bunch of trails. I have enough, you know, suspension, flex to be able to do all that. So as maintaining a comfort ride where it's not rough, I don't have a whole lot of body roll, you know, and it's just a comfortable ride all the way around. And it's a very universal lift, in my opinion, is you can stay on the highway, go off-road with it. It fits very well.
Nice, man. Well, it certainly looks good, man. As an F-150 owner, big fan of the stance. The Fuel Assult wheel, let's start there. 20 by 10, negative 18 millimeter offset, giving you that kind of aggressive stance, a little bit of poke. What was it about that particular wheel that really made you go with it?
When I do go off-road, I like to have a little stance on it. And me personally, I love the look. But I've had anywhere from negative 44, which, I mean, it looks good, don't get me wrong, but when you're going off-road, you risk throwing more rocks, more mud and stuff at your truck to help try to prevent that happening. I try to, you know, go with a little bit smaller where, you know, I still have that nice semi-aggressive stance that looks really good, and I can fit inside parking spots.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's important. And that's another thing guys don't maybe think about all the time. It's like once you get those wheels outside of the fenders, it really does start slinging pretty good. So you got a nice kind of balance of just a little bit, still looks good, but it doesn't destroy the truck. So let's talk more about the fuel wheels here a little bit. As far as like a 20, you got, you know, bigger wheel, smaller kind of sidewall, as opposed to maybe a 17 with a little bit more meat. Is that a look that you really wanted to go with?
I'm hit or miss. And I think with the 20s, it gives me the best of both worlds because I'm able to air down, but not risk, you know, de-beating my truck. If I'm going with like a 22, 24 inch rim and, you know, a 35 inch wheel, you know, that sidewall decreases a good bit. Even though it's small numbers, it's still a huge amount. And I think going with that 20 and 35, it gives it a nice aggressive stance, but not overly aggressive. And I'm still building it with everything. But I think it's a well-rounded truck. It looks great. It suits it well.
Tires. Let's talk tires. Nitto, I love them. I've had them on a few trucks myself. You got the 35 1250 R20. It's the Terra Grappler, correct?
Terra Grappler G2s.
New version. Okay. Very nice. So what's your experience been like with those?
I mean, I travel, I want to say anywhere between 30 to 50,000 miles a year. And I mean, I still have tread on them. I still have plenty of tread. They're still meaty. They're solid. I've never been stuck in them.
I was gonna say, so like the Terra Grappler, I would argue probably more of like the road-friendly tires as opposed to like a trail grappler or something. But you still, you know, you take it off-road all the time. So even with that kind of tread pattern, no issues off-road?
No. I mean, it also depends on the terrain. I wouldn't go out and, you know, 6, 7 inches of, you know, pure sand in them in a two-wheel drive. I recommend them. They don't have a whole lot of road noise, and that's something I like. I like it just a little bit. I don't want the tires to be screaming as I'm driving because it gets annoying after a while, in my opinion. Overall, I think they're great on-road, off-road. I've been in the rock, so they hold up to rocks really well. Off-road, in the mud, sand, dirt, trees, trails. I've never had an issue with them.
Like, are they getting noisier with all the miles or not really?
No, actually, surprisingly, no. And they still handle the same. Usually, if you can feel wear, I know some tires you'll be able to actually feel it in the steering wheel. I don't feel nothing.
Nice. Now the 35 1250 R20s, is that a size you had in mind, or is that just something like why'd you go with that size?
Because I knew for a fact 35s would fit without any trimming, anything like that. 37s, I'm actually looking at my next set is to be 37s to see, you know, if they fit without having to shave, scrub, or anything like that. But I knew for a fact them 35s would work for sure. And I think I've always had 33s, 35s on all my trucks.
As far as like the ride quality compared to stock, Daniel, I mean, can you compare the two?
I mean, it's obviously you'll tell a little different, but that also leads into the suspension, and everything else plays a part. It's not just one individual factor. But overall, I mean, there is a slight difference.
Did you recalibrate your truck for the larger tires at all, like with the speedo and all that, or are you just kind of rolling without?
So right now I'm rolling without. I'm gonna do it whenever I hit 37s because I feel like that's gonna be a little more difference. But running the tuner, running the GPS and everything, and I will say there might be like 1 or 2 mile difference, but overall your speed's gonna be the same.
All right, cool, man. Well, I think that pretty much covers the tires. Let's move into suspension. Why did you go with this particular size and this particular brand?
I went with rough country because I had one on a Nissan Titan I had actually. I had the 7.5-inch lift on it. And what really sold me was I was probably doing about 60 to 75 off-road in this truck. And I hit a jump and I probably went a good 10 feet and I'm in a full-size truck. And when I landed, it sounded expensive, you know. But I got out, looked at everything, nothing was bent, not a crack, nothing. And on that day I was sold because I'm like, any other lift kit probably would have destroyed itself. And I actually drove it home that day, you know, nothing wrong with it. And I will say, a lot of people will knock on rough country because it's more on the cheaper side, but you're still getting pretty quality stuff. You know, like I said, I've jumped it, I've done tug of wars, I've put all my trucks through it, and I've made sure they work.
I hear you. I mean, I think people sometimes associate price with quality. I've had a lot of experience with rough country with shop trucks or maybe Make-A-Wish build stuff, and dude, the stuff works. Now the 6-inch kit, I know you said you had a few trucks with bigger lifts in the past. Is that a number you had in your head, I mean, the day you got this truck, or is that something you had to like do some research on?
That's something I had since day one. I feel like the 6-inch is big enough to where you're sitting a little bit higher in the parking lots and you've got the ground clearance that you want whenever you're going off-road, but you're still not trying to climb in your vehicle whenever you get in. And that was the thing for me because I have a lot of back problems. And even though I do a whole bunch of crazy stuff, off-road and all that, and bounce around and beat myself up, I'm still able to climb in and out of that truck with ease.
Nice, man. You get the dogs in there too with you?
Oh yeah, they're passed out on the couch in here.
It's awesome, man. Now, as far as fitment issues with the 35-1250s, the aggressive offset and that 6-inch kit, do you still have crash bars in place and all that stuff?
I have everything how it needs to be. I still have all the factory components, but with the lift and the suspension and everything like that, nothing had to be changed out except for what needed to be changed out, obviously, for like the control arm, stuff like that. But everything else is still there. I haven't had to pull anything off extra, so everything's solid on it.
That's awesome. No rubbing?
No, the only time I've ever had any type of scrub is when I'm going on, I want to say, probably a 35, 40, 45 degree angle, and I'm full lock. Okay. If I'm going straight up with it, I'm not going to hit it unless I'm doing like 30 or 40.
Ride quality compared to stock, it's a big lift kit, obviously. If you could maybe explain it to somebody at home, you know, the difference between a stock truck and maybe with that 6-inch kit in place.
The only big issue I see is you just have to know your truck, because when you're getting higher, the front view over the hood isn't as good as it would be in a stock truck. Because I have one truck that's stock and I have one truck that's lifted. I can see a little bit better over the hood on the stock truck, but with the lift kit, you just need to know your vehicle. That's the best thing I could say. You need to have a feel for it. So if you're pulling into a parking spot, you need to know, okay, I'm roughly about this close to this vehicle, and not you think you're that close, but you're 6 feet away, or you're driving through it.
And now, is there anything you would have done differently from the start?
No, actually, I think as for how I use my truck, I think it's great. I don't need to overly beef anything up, and I didn't skimp out on spots that I might think I might need to beef up later. I think as it sits right now, I could go out, I could drive it, 20 hours one way, drive it 20 back, and still go off-roading the next day. The only thing I will say is your fuel mileage will go down just a little bit.
Yeah, that kind of comes with the territory, I guess, right?
Yep.
Now, final question for you, sir. Any plans to change things up in the future?
So yeah, I do eventually, when I get done, because I got to lift my other truck now, I do want to have it sitting at around 9 inches on about 40s. That's my final thing. But when that time comes, that won't be my daily driver. That's going to be, a Sunday cruiser. So after that, I'll be happy. That's what I'm going for.
Well, listen, Daniel, I appreciate you carving out some time. Thank you for your service again as a member of our U.S. Armed Forces. We appreciate that. And guys, just a refresher on Daniel's setup. It's a 2018 F-150, 20 by 10 inch Fuel Assult wheel, negative 18 millimeter offset with the aggressive stance. 35 1250 R20 Nitto Terra Grappler G2, and then making it all possible is that 6-inch rough country lift kit. Guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.